Hi, I'm Subaba and I have been asked to make a Blender rigging tutorial. In this tutorial I will use my Velociraptor I made in a previous tutorial. And this already comes with a working rig, as you can see. But for this tutorial's sake, I'm gonna delete this rig, like so. And I'm gonna see here that the armature modifier is actually removed. It isn't, so I'm gonna remove that. And there we go. Now we have a clean mesh to work with. So let's get going. If I can get this my chair to cooperate with me. So the first thing we are gonna do, I actually can hide that one. And the first thing we're gonna do is to make sure that we have the mesh we want to rig in the center of the grid here. So I'm gonna press Alt G, as you can see down here what I'm doing. I press Alt G, that text will come up. Now also we do the same for reset location and reset scale. Anyhow, if you're wondering where I got this, and this is an auto hotkey script I have made. It shows that text on. You can see that I press Control space here. You can see what it does. The next thing we want to do is make sure the 3D marker is set where we want to put our first bone. And we can do that by pressing it right from the right view, right where its hip is. Okay, roughly like that. Oh, and now I see that I have an option in the properties window called auto depth. So I'm going to quickly go to File, User Preferences, under Interface, View Manipulation, uncheck auto depth, and turn it on. And I'm going to snap the cursor to grid, or to center actually, pressing Shift S. I haven't added that to the text table there. Shift S again, cursor to selected, and then move it up there. Now you can see it's perfectly centered here. Okay, now let's press Shift A and choose armature single bone. And let's get back here to properties here for armature and enable X-ray. And this will make us able to see the bone through the mesh. A little bit easier. Before I do anything else now, I will apply the rotation of this bone, so I don't get any problem later on. But this is done by pressing Control A. Get up the apply window here and choose rotation. Now when that is done, you can press the tab key to get into edit mode, and now I can explain a little bit components of the armature. This is the ball at the bottom here is called the root. The other end is the tip, and the big one here in the middle I call that the bone for this part of the armature. Zoom out a little again, and then I'll grab the tip of the bone, move it backwards roughly here. So grab there. When that is done, I can just press hold down Control and left click to add new bones, or I can do what I prefer to do, press E to extrude. Small increments here, all along the tail. Trying to creep it in a nice arc. There we go. You might wondering why I'm not just start from the tail and work my way through the head. That is because, well, if I did that and then animated, well, let's say we started here. I'm going to edit into post mode here, and quick to illustrate it. If I say I would want to rotate this part, and just select that bone and rotate, this part will move, but not that one. You can see it will start rotating from the first bone we created there, this bone. So right now it is, if I would do that like that way, it would be rather hard to animate the tail. But because I am doing it the way I'm doing, I can move the tail separately and then the head separately, and don't have to worry about have to work with the setup. A little bit easier. Now I'm just keeping on extruding here, making sure we have one in the with the arms, and one for the neck, and a couple of for the neck here, and then do like that for the head. Now I'm selecting that bone, pressing Shift D to duplicate, and pressing rotate 90 degrees, and with that. Now I'm just going to Control Alt P, clear parent. I don't want that to be parented. Actually, I want that, so I'm just going to undo that. Anyway, make sure that is still parented to this bone, so we get the actually select that bone, Alt P, clear parent, Shift select that bone, Control parent, creep offset. Geez, I would like it. We want the top bone, jaw, over jaw, head here, move when we are moving the neck here. Now in edit mode, Shift duplicate that one, Shift select that this bone above for the top for the head, Control P for parent, and keep the offset. Now if I want to rotate, you can see move that up, can move that, can move that separately. It's like so. Back into edit mode again. Move these bones a little bit so get a little bit better. And if you can see, these two bones has a roll on it, which have been rotated. This is a quite a bad thing. You can screw up with the animation later, so I'm gonna press N key, select the bone, and under transform we'll find a roll variable. Shift click it and press 0. I'm sure you can do it another way, just quick way here. Bone roll, Control N. Let's go this way. It's easier. There we go. Now we have the rotation roll we want. So, and now let's quickly do the feet and arms. I'm currently almost 10 minutes in. I just went to top view by pressing the 7 key. And now, before I extrude anything here from the where we started, I'm gonna press T and enable X-axis mirror under armature options here. Press T again, 7 to get the top view. Now, if I'm holding down Shift and E, both sides will be extruded at the same time. And here it's important why I applied a rotation. Otherwise, this can behave very odd. Now, side view, grab this down a little from back. Shoot, looks weird. I'll have to move this bone in a little. Let's see. Actually, anyway, I'm gonna move this out like that. Sure, looks good. Now the bones doesn't need to be exactly in the center of each center. We could do that by going to the mesh and holding down the Alt key and then press edge loop. Press Alt S and cursor to selected. Now that will center the 3D marker there. Go tab out, go to edit mode of the armature, select the tip of the bone, shift S selection to cursor. This will snap the tip of the bone there. You can't keep doing that for the entire rig if you would want to, but I think that is a little bit unnecessary work. So I'm just gonna go roughly here. As you can see, if I rotate, that is exactly in the center of there. You can do that if in trouble areas though. Just gonna speed this up a little bit here. And we'll not do the hand, but I can do the claws here, feet here. It varies a little bit depending on your mesh, so you have to have some imagination going on. All that up. So in this case, I'm gonna move it even more, like so. And then I'm gonna start with making this claw. So I move it down again, roughly there. I want it straight up, like so. E, and now we get a bone roll again. I'm just extruding here a little bit to creating like so. I'm not gonna create a bone for the claw. For the claw itself, it cannot bend. It will just have to go with these bones. I'm just gonna clear out the roll for those two. I do not want a roll. Oops. Inky. Select that tip again. Front, move up a little, and turn on perspective. So this need that way. Just noticing things I have to fix with the modeler. Like so. Did it get any wrong? Yes, it did. I had to go keep on check on that. It will mess up with the armature later with animating. This claw I will take from that joint there. Going like so. Roll on it as usual. like so, and again, and actually, are you here? This one out. And I'm gonna do that little bit trick. I'll shift this cursor to selected, tab, and I'm sure selection to cursor. There we go. Do the same thing. Add it there. Cursor selected. Selection cursor. There we go. This takes some time to do, and that is the reason I normally don't do it. Cursor to selected, but it helps lining up the rig. There we go. Nice and clean. Move that in, that in. Actually, here I'm gonna add one there so I can get the rotation thing in working. That is all for the ring armor. I'm leaving you to do the hand. It is roughly the same way, so in the matter of time here I have to probably make this a two-part tutorial. I just noticed because I are at 17 minutes right now. Might get more while I edit this. So let's go on and make the rig work. If I go into post mode and then back to object mode. Now comes the fun part. What we have to do is to select the mesh, hold on down shift, press and select the armature. Then Control P, get the silent parent 2 menu up, and then choose with automatic weights. Depending on how big mesh and bones you have, it may take some time or go quite fast. Now let's go to the rig and edit post mode. See how that works. You can see it works quite well, but it does need some refinements. I'm gonna go in and lower the subsurf modifier so it goes a little bit quicker. You can see the difference. And you know, what do you do? One thing you can do, for an example, for the jaw here, you can notice if I can rotate it off its axis here. Rotate. You can do like that if you want to. That looks a little bit weird, so I can press N key, press R, experiment with the X, Z, and Y. X, and I only want to move it in X, so I'm going to lock the rotation and location for everything except for X value here. Now if I want to try to rotate it here, I cannot just move it up and down. Note that this will still move the bone like that. This bone's movement, since this is parented to this bone, will always follow that bone, including the location. So that is not an issue. But it helps you keeping the mouth aligned. Yes, a very useful function to use. and move closer. Actually, I'm gonna go into Armature and choose the display type to stick. This will just make it a little bit easier to see what I'm doing here. You see, if I rotate that jawbone here, it takes a little bit of the top head here. That is unwanted, so move it up a little bit. Yes, excuse me. And then select the mesh and go into white paint. Bring up this menu here by pressing the T key, so you can see down there I'm pressing. And then go to Tools, White Tools, nope, Toolbar. Move it. I'm going to move it up a little bit here. And choose Subtract. And I'm gonna go into Options, Topology, X Mirror, Spray. I'll hide that again. Can experiment with that to see what it does. I'm just gonna paint as you do for example Photoshop to remove unwanted weight here. If you're wondering which color is what, the red color is the most effective, like that, and green is lower and the blue is none at all. Again, for get a hang of it, you will need to experiment a bit. And what you need to do is, if you press Shift and hold Shift down and click on a bone, you can select that bone and keep painting on that bone. I'm just gonna remove it from those. Decrease it a little bit here. I'm gonna just try here. I'm gonna quickly tap here. It still moves that one. Almost zero though. And you will have to go around like this for the entire rig, bone for bone. But then it does this work very good for you. Now I fixed that one, so I can just reset its rotation. Test out. It works pretty well. And you keep doing that for the entire rig. And I can check. It's no use to me showing the entire process, but it will take time. But it is just a trial and error. And you can try, as you can see, if let's select bone here, you can see here it's all red, and it goes to orange, yellow, green, and then here light blue and blue. It softens up like that, and making it an even transition here. And when you're done, you will be able to make, for example, in this case, making the Velociraptor look at you. Maybe open its mouth a little. If I can get it to open. There you go. And there is another way you can rig with this called inverse kinematic, or IK. If you want me to make a tutorial on that, post me a message below, and I will save this progress here so I can get back to it and apply an IK rig if you so desire. And this will conclude this tutorial, and hope you have found it useful.